corresponding to the 11th of October. Today's class, graciously sponsored by Uri Jamal and family, Le'ilui Nishmat, his beloved father, Kamel Ben Nusha, Alav Shalom. Additionally, today's class, graciously sponsored by Tuvia Levi and family, Le'ilui Nishmat, his beloved mother, Caroline Catriela Batvela Malka, that the yahrzeit will be tomorrow, the day of Yom Kippur. Additionally, for the refuah shelema of Menachem ben Belina, Rosie Bat Kori, among all of the Holim of Am Israel. So I would like to split today's class in two particular times in order to be able to cover as much ground as we can in honor of Yom Kippur. Just one moment. I'm putting these numbers in front of me so I know when I'm going to speak about it. Okay, I will share with the Kahal Kadosh a lot of information, a lot of particular matters which are applicable and relevant for today's day, and Be'ezat Hashem will begin. By now, I hope and we hope that everyone did Hatarat Nedarim and Hatarat Kelalot. Many in our communities did it already last Mosai Shabbat, but not everyone had that opportunity. So today, now, after the prayers, is a possibility to do the Hatarat Nedarim and Kelalot before Yom Kippur. So I hope that by now that is done. Also the topic of kaparot. Many people do with chicken, but due to the hurricane that we had but did not have in our area, so the chickens decided to go to Mexico or Georgia, Orlando, whatever. So we all doing kaparot with money, which you can do remotely via the website. Then I will download the paperwork and I'll do the communal kaparot prayer with all the papers in my hands, and the website link will shut down by I think 10:30. So you have not done it, go ahead. The papers are outside or they are on our website, and take care of these accordingly. Additionally, it's imperative that on the day of Yom Kippur we eat more than usual. How many se'udot does a person needs to eat? According to some opinions, 6 se'udot. Now, to some of us, to eat 6 meals, it sounds very challenging. So I will clarify, thank you so much, that the only meal that really requires bread, amotzi, according to the Shalach HaKadosh and others, it's Seudat Mafseket, the final meal that we're going to eat before Kippur. As we know, twice a year we eat Seudat Mafseket. One is Ereb Tisha B'Av, and the other one is today, Erev Kippur, with huge differences. The Seudat of Kippur is a Seudat Shabbat, is a Seudat Yom Tov. We sit together with the family and we eat and we enjoy. Obviously, the person should eat suitable food for digestion, not too sour or spicy that the person may become thirsty. Wine definitely should be avoided. It's not a drinking Sauda, although you may take a tiny sip to say Borei Peri Geffen, but no more than that. It's not Pesach, it's not Purim, it's Kippur. Also, the Ben Ish Chai writes that the first Seudah of today should be fish. That's what he writes. I already have my fish waiting for me after the class. Beli Neder, I'll eat a piece of fish just to fulfill the rabbinical suggestion. Another thing that a person needs to make the effort to do today is going to the mikveh. Like we went to the mikveh before Rosh Hashanah, we should go to the mikveh also in honor of Yom Kippur. Needless to say that Rabbanim and Hazanim should definitely make the effort to go to the mikveh. What happens if a person cannot go to the mikveh? let's say for XYZ reason, Baruch Hashem, in our city, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 men's mikvahs available: Aventura Chabad North, South, Aventura Chabad of Hollandel, and the Breslev Center. These are 4 men's mikvahs in our vicinities. There are more mikvahs in Aventura, but they are for kelim and for ladies. In the event that a person cannot go to the mikveh, based on the rulings of Hacham Rabbi Yosef, you stand under the shower to the maximum capacity, like around 2 minutes, and you put your hands like this, literally by your heart, like you're saying the vidui. The Ben Ish Chai says, if that's not even possible, the Ben Ish Chai requires that somebody else should pour the water on your body. I'm not sure how realistic it is, obviously, but that's what he writes. But then he says the concept of netilat arba'im, the washing of the hands 40 times, and this, in a way, it's like a make-up opportunity for the mikveh. How do you do the netilat arba'im? Basically, if I recall correctly, each 10 sets of the washing represents one letter of Hashem's name, Yod Ke Vav Ke. So you start, I believe, 10 to the right, 10 to the left, that's already 20. And then you have 10 straights to the right, 10 straight to the left, and then you skip left, right, like a boot camp. Right, left. All together, you wash your hands 40 times. That should not take you with a netilat yadayim cup or 2 cups. You can do it in less than 2 minutes, literally. And then you dry your hands, and you should say the pasuk that says, Lev tahor berali Elokim beruach nachon hadesh bekirbi. A pure heart God built in me, and a renewed spirit was established inside of my body, inside of my organism. Also, Kahal Kadosh, there is a concept in Erev Kippur to light candles in memory of our beloved relatives. In our synagogue, the candles are already set up. That's our tradition all over the Syrian world, to my knowledge, that people come to the synagogue especially, and they light the candles in memory of the beloved parents, grandparents, hachamim, relatives, and give tzedakah in their honor as well, in their memory. Why so much emphasis? I'll add one more. According to many halachic opinions also, at home you should light a ner neshama. But some people don't do it at home because they're not going to be home and they're going to be spending most of the day in the synagogue. So at least come to the synagogue and light them and give tzedakah in their memory. And the reason why we do that is because the day of Yom Kippur, it says in the Moed Kol Chai and others that it's not only the day of the bodies, meaning our day, but it's also the day of the neshamot. And the neshamot linger with us throughout. Let me just find it here. I saw it. Linger with us throughout the entire day of Yom Kippur. And these neshamot of our relatives, it says that they are the ones who actually delivered. It says here, Rabbi Chaim Falaji, it says that if we will have the permission from the heavens, our eyes will be able to be opened in order to see all of the souls which are with us, especially in the moment of the Ne'ilah, when the opening of the ark takes place, that they are praying for us and rooting rather, that our tefillot should be delivered accordingly. That's the reason why. Not only that, there is another reason that says that Sifrei Chaim Umetim Lefanecha Hem Niftahim. The book of the living and the book of those that are not alive are open. So why do I need to have the book of the dead open? Because the day of Yom Kippur is the second opportunity that a neshama has to be promoted in Gan Eden. One day is the day of the Yortzeit, that includes the entire first year of passing, and the other opportunity is the day of Yom Kippur. That's why you're going to see tonight when you come to pray by us that the entire memorial board, every plate, it's on. Why? Because it's the day of the Neshamot of Yom Kippur as well. Also, concerning, there is a tradition known as the topic of Malkut. Malkut means the 39 lashes. Now, we don't really do to the person 39 lashes. We do symbolically. We touch with the belt. We start Behu Rahom Yechaper Abon Belo Yashhid Birba Leashiv Apo Belo Yair Kol Hamato. That verse has 13 words. You say this pasuk 3 times, and that's how you do the Malkut. Very symbolic that in the event that a person is liable to receive the consequence or punishment of Malkut, this will do it. Also, it's imperative to remember a few more halachot. Number one, candle lighting of today. Candle lighting of today is Shabbat and Kippur. So therefore, when we light the candles at home today, we need to make sure that they're going to last long enough, or the candles have enough oil to last until we come back from the synagogue. Because at the end of the day, if we lit the Shabbat candles and we did not derive any type of benefit or even look at them, what was the purpose? So when we light the candles tonight, especially the wonderful ladies, they will say, Le'adlik ner shel Shabbat, Le'adlik ner shel Shabbat ve'yom ha'kippurim. Concerning the beracha of Sheheyanu, it all depends. If the wife is coming to the synagogue tonight and she will listen Sheheyanu after Kal Nidre, then there is no need to say the Berach of Sheheyanu at home. But in the event that the wife will stay home, she should say the Berach of the Sheheyanu according to many opinions. Also, one important step, which I forgot, I apologize, I'm coming back. Talet and Tefillin, according to the Syrian tradition, today's Mincha is done with Talet and Tefillin. Now, for those who wear Rabbeinu Tam, no need to wear the second Tefillin in Mincha, only Talet with Beracha, Rashi with Beracha, no Kriyat Shema, no Kadesh Li Kol Bechor, just the prayer of Mincha, which is the long Amidah, because we have the special Vidui, which is similar to the Mincha that the Hatan recites in the eve of the wedding right before the Chuppah. Our synagogue will have a few minyanim. Look at the schedule for that. Also, remember that in order for tomorrow night to make Havdalah, in all Mosa'e Kippur, we say Boreh Meoreh Ha'esh. Even if Kippur is on a weekday, but because it's on Mosa'e Shabbat, so for sure we need to have the candle for Havdalah. But the fire for the candle of Havdalah must be pre-existing from Kippur. So therefore, make sure to put a 24, 48-hour candle today at home, which can be the neshama candle that you may light in memory of a beloved relative or a parent, and from there, Mosa'e Shabbat, you light the candle for Havdalah. There is no besamim tomorrow night, even though there is Mosa'e Shabbat, because it's Mosa'e Kippur. Mosa'e Kippur does not carry besamim, carry the fire, because the fire is connected to the Teshuvah of Adam Arishon and Hashem forgiving Adam and Hava on Mosa'e Shabbat, which is the whole idea of Yom Kippur. Additionally, tonight's prayer, it's also Shabbat prayer. So therefore, everybody needs to make sure to come to the synagogue early enough, because tonight's prayer begins with Kabbalat Shabbat. According to the tradition, we put on talet in the night of Kippur. But in order to do that mitzvah properly, we need to come to the synagogue early enough in order to be able to put on the talet before sunset. So the times for Miami only: candle lighting 6:38, Ta'anit starts at 6:48, Kabbalat Shabbat 10 to 7, Mincha with talet and tefillin 1:30 and 2:30. The rest of the schedule is already gone. There is a requirement from the halacha of Tosefet Shabbat and Tosefet Yom HaKippurim. In other words, even though sunset is at 6:57 or 6:58, we need to add a few minutes extra before the actual fast day starts. And this way, by us welcoming the fast day early enough before sunset, it's considered like if we fasted today, the 9th of Tishrei, as well as tomorrow, the 10th of Tishrei. There is a topic which I'm not going to discuss publicly because it's complicated and has a lot of parameters, and is about medical conditions and Yom Kippur. Each question must be handled by its own particular scenario, its own particular merit, and hopefully we are able to get you the adequate answer. The answer for one is not the same answer to another person. In the flexibility of the halacha of eating in Yom Kippur, it has to be done between the parameters which halachically is not really considered eating in the case of a medical condition. But as I said, due to the complexity of this particular topic, I'm not going to give you guidelines. I'm going to tell you ask, and that will be the answer to that question. Also, no, don't listen to the class. What's the question again? Quickly ask. 7 to 10 minutes, no more than that. That's why I said, look at the schedule. 6:38 candle lighting, 6:48 is the beginning of the fast day, and we begin prayers immediately. Sunset tonight, I believe that is going to be around 6:57 or 6:58. So we do like an 8 to 10 minutes extra bonus. That's the way we should do it. You want to do that? You can do that, because there are some opinions who say 20 minutes. But there is no need to do more than 8 to 10 minutes. Working on Ereb Kippur, it is not recommended. But obviously, we understand that people need to go to work and we all have what to do. But definitely, my advice to you is, if you're able to finish working by Hasot, by noontime, that will be the ideal, because there are so many preparations that we need to do in honor of Shabbat and Kippur, that who has time to work? One of the things that we will need to do today, as I mentioned before, is to eat more than usual. And the Gemara writes that a person that eats more than usual in Ereb Kippur, it's like eating in Mehillah. It's not like fasting on the 9th and the 10th. Why? Because since we're eating extra in order to be ready for the Ta'anit, that is considered like fasting as well. One more important thing that I must say. Tonight is Shabbat, but tonight is also Yom Kippur. Therefore, we need to make sure that our homes, they look respectful and suitable in honor of Shabbat, including the Shabbat table. In other words, don't say, oh, I'm not eating at home tonight. There is no food. Why should I set up the table? According to the halakha, you need to set up the table. So what do you put on the table? Torah books. You put a handful of Torah books on your Shabbat table, put a nice tablecloth. Obviously, no need to put dishes, you need to put a challah because nobody's eating. But the table should be presentable, like the home is presentable every Shabbat. The same applies to the table of Yom Kippur, irrelevant of what day of the week happens to be the day of Yom Kippur. So I believe that I covered most of the aliyot. One more thing, purchase today if you can the lulav and the etrog. Anyways, you're not going to get it till Sunday afternoon or Monday, but let be one more additional mitzvah to be able to tilt the scale to our benefit. Give extra tzedakah today. Don't be cheap. Don't be stingy. Pay your bills to the synagogue today. Buy aliyot today. Give extra tzedakah today. And the Gemara even tells us stories. Hachamim used to distribute an exorbitant amount and pay their bills to the synagogues in Erev Kippur. So all these quick actions do carry a tremendous amount of power when it comes to our decision for Yom Kippur. Also, anybody who has the opportunity to go up to the Sefer on Kippur, definitely take advantage of that. The aliyot of Yom Kippur are mega special, especially the Kal Nidre, the Petihot of the Parnasah, and specifically Maftiri Yonah, and the maftir of Yom Kippur in the morning. The maftir of Yom Kippur in the morning towards the second half of the Haftarah contains 24 berachot. Berachot are every level, and at the end discusses all the topic of the Shabbat and the Kiddush. So whatever your affordability level is, make sure to try to participate in these mega honors which are available at this moment. I'm not sure actually if we have them available. I know the Maftir Yonah has been sold already, and I don't know about the Maftir in the morning. If you're interested, I'll find out after the prayer and I'll let you know their ability and the price. I hope that it's sold already, but if not, you have the zechut to take care of that. Kal Nidre, it says in the holy books that this Rabbeinu Ari instructed his students, go and spend money on the Sefer Kal Nidre, because the power that the Kal Nidre has, it has the power of remedying certain topic of sins related to the topic of personal holiness, and brings a tremendous amount of beracha to whoever has this particular zechut. I'm scanning very quickly through my notes in this particular Erev Kippur. Two more things. The importance today of blessing our children. They are next to you or they are far away. You can do it from now in the morning. You can do it later on today. Just make sure to do it. There is a special power of blessings that parents have on Erev Kippur. This prayer was sent via email to the Kahal Kadosh and via WhatsApp for those who get our daily class. It's in one of the links of yesterday night that I sent at around 8 or 8:15. You can download it. And it's in Hebrew and in English, and it's a powerful prayer and blessing that covers all the angles. Needless to say, that one of the things that is imperative that we do is basically asking for forgiveness to your spouse, to your parents, to your relatives, to your teachers, to your students, to your children, to your grandchildren. Obviously, you may say, but Rabbi, why? Obviously, a grandparent and a grandchild, I don't think there is much to forgive, because usually grandparents and grandchildren have a special relationship. But sometimes between parents and children, or children and parents, it's not the same. It's a different ball game. Needless to say, that in the case of us being children of our parents, don't wait till your parents call you. Go ahead and call your parents. Don't wait for them to call you. Call your parents. That's a proper mitzvah of kaved et avicha ve'et imecha. Obviously, some cases depends on the time zone. If your child is in Israel or your parents are in Israel, you better call them as soon as they're talking. Because otherwise, by the time another hour and a half, most likely 2 hours max, not even, will be Yom Kippur. And you're going to miss the boat. So plan yourself accordingly to make the phone calls. Don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. I already did it inside publicly. And I'm going to do it now also to the wonderful audience of iTorah and the recipients of our daily classes, that in the event that Chas v'Shalom, I may have said something that may have sounded a bit rough or extreme or offensive. Everything was L'Shem Shamayim, and my intentions are good and holy, but sometimes we are humans at the end of the day, and we are bound to fail. Don't think that you are so holy. Yeah, we aim to be holy every time. But even holy tzaddikim, Shlomo Melech says, that's why I'm saying this. En tzaddik tov, en tzaddik ba'aretz asher ya'aseh tov velo yecheta. King Solomon says, I believe that's where it comes from, that even a righteous has areas that they need to be improved. Since I'm a public figure, like it or not, somebody told me, Rabbi, you're an influencer. I said, I hope not from YouTube. I hope not from YouTube or TikTok, from Torah, from iTorah. I'm okay influencing people to do better. So we apologize in advance to anyone. And Be'ezat Hashem, Hashem should welcome our prayers in the most beautiful way. There is something powerful that I saw today, earlier today. I already marked it because I don't want to spend time looking for it. Okay, it's right here. New. Right here. So we discuss very quickly the zechut, the berachot, rather, that comes to us by eating extra today. But it says, number one, it says, not for being allowed to eat extra, we're going to become suddenly zolel besove. Yani a glutton, so to speak, and eating without control. It says here very clearly, le'echol bederech eres. Even though today we are saying something that we never say throughout the year. Throughout the year, what do we say? You are in control of the food. You decide when to eat. You decide when not to eat. There is no obligation to finish the plate. But today, what do we say? Eat more. Eat more. But it says here, Lishkol belimdot tenuotav. It says, when you eat properly. And have the kavanah. There is even a prayer. I have it. There is a prayer that a person before sits down to eat today says, I'm eating in order to fulfill our rabbinical concept of eating extra in honor of Yom Kippur. How long did that take me to say? Seconds. Plus all the proper parameters that come, and it says, lekayem mizvah zo metoch simcha. It says, do this mitzvah in a happy way, because doing this mitzvah in a happy way has the benefit that our teshuvah is upgraded from teshuvah out of fear to teshuvah out of love. And once teshuvah is labeled, so to speak, out of love, so then the benefits are like if you are a gold medallion Delta President Circle level. How much is that? How many miles is that? 1,000,000 miles club? To start? Whatever. But comes a Sefat Emet, and it says as follows: if there is an area that in Ereb Kippur we must invest in, it's avoiding anger in Ereb Kippur. Why somebody will be angry in Ereb Kippur? Because it's human nature. When we have to do so many things, I gotta run, I gotta do A, B, C, D, F, G, all the way to the Z. People may get a bit desperate and overwhelmed, and it says the Yetzer Hara looks for extra customers on Erev Kippur because he knows that in Yom Kippur, the Yetzer Hara, it's a bit mitigated because we are not really functioning in a human way. We are functioning in a way which is more connected to the angelic behavior, to the malachim behavior. So that alone demotes, that's a word, demotes the Yetzer Hara. That's why he said, Igar Hashem Becha Hasatan. Hasatan is 364. How many days the solar calendar has? 365. So there is one day missing. That day is the day of Yom Kippur. That because we spend most of the day in the synagogue and we're not eating, we're not drinking, we're keeping distance from our spouses, we behave in a more godly and holy way than any other day of the calendar. So that the power of prayer and the fasting and everything else in between, it weakens the power of the Yetzer Hara. So what does he want to do? He wants to take a few prisoners with him in Erev Kippur. And how does he grab them? Through anger. Therefore, it says, as Sefat Emet, it says, Sarich leizaher me'od, libroach me'akaz. It says, run away from this concept. But it says that there are people who leave the home Erev Kippur in anger because you had an argument at home. You didn't do the candles, ta-ta-ta, and then they run to the synagogue. I'm here for Kal Nidre, 5,000 Kal Nidre. We don't take 5,000 for Kal Nidre, by the way. Needs to be much higher. But let's say a person, like, it's already sold. I have one for you, maybe, if you're interested. But it's higher than 5. Okay, so let's continue. I'm not selling anything, but if you're interested, send me a message. I'll see what I can do. I know somebody inside. Anyways, and you don't have to be present in the synagogue to do it. That's the beautiful part of this. You can do it remote. Says, Rabbi, I'd like to buy this aliyah for you, or for my cousin, or for the Hazan. I can handle that also. We do all kinds of, we do customer service galore. But on a more serious note, it says this fellow, it's eager to come to the synagogue because he purchased Petiha Kal Nidre, or because he purchased Petihata Parnasa at the end of Arvit. But what happened before he got to the synagogue? He screamed at his wife. Or he left the home in a very angry mode. You know what it says? Beracha levatala. Whatever he bought and did doesn't help him. Why not? Because you left somebody in pain at home. Or you just left the home upset. You know what? I had it. I'm leaving to the synagogue. I don't care. Is this how you get ready for the holiday? That's why the Sefat Emet says, if you want your prayers and your actions and your tefillot and your aliyot and your petihot and whatever we did and we're going to do, God willing, Be'ezat Hashem, throughout the Kippur day, make sure that the foundation, which is Erev Kippur, is under control. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Now, I'm not done yet. If you need to leave, I understand. But I'm going to try to throw in something on the table. Some of these things I did say it, but I will tell you one thing. It says the Midbar Kodesh. Listen to this. Through the food that we eat now, Ereb Kippur, it brings a tikkun for all of the times that we ate and drank throughout the year. Let's say a person ate hafif without thinking much. No beracha, no beracha rishona, no beracha harona. And the person takes a few moments and says the beracha properly before and after, obviously kasher, no question. It says the kavanah of today remedies every time that we did not eat properly. And through the fasting of tomorrow, we are metaken, remedying the times that we needed to eat and we did not eat. What does it mean? There is a time that a person needs to eat. But if we don't eat, we feel tired, we feel exhausted, we yawn a lot, we get cranky, right? And we have reactions. So the fasting is for the times that we did not eat what we're supposed to eat. And the eating is for improving the way that we perhaps ate, but not in the proper spiritual mindset. Powerful. The Shalach Kadosh says, when you make hamotzi today for the Seudat Hamafseket, do hamotzi like Shabbat. Lechem Mishneh. Because at the end of the day, how is Kippur called? Shabbat, Shabbaton. Shabbat, Shabbaton. Why is it called Shabbat, Shabbaton? That not only Kippur has the same laws as Shabbat, whatever is forbidden to be done on Shabbat is forbidden to be done in Kippur, but also whatever is permissible to be done on Shabbat is forbidden in Kippur. For example, wearing leather shoes, husband and wife must keep complete separation from A to Z, something that regular Shabbat you're allowed to. You wear leather shoes on Shabbat, you eat, you drink, you put deodorant, depends on what type deodorant that is Shabbat friendly, but even what is permissible on a regular Shabbat, in Kippur is forbidden, hence the name Shabbat Shabbaton. But once I call Kippur Shabbat Shabbaton, how do I make the amotzi on Shabbat? 2 breads. So because the Seudat HaMafseket of Erev Kippur, it's like the Seudah of Shabbat, so I should use 2 breads. That's what the Shalach Kadosh says. Additionally, it says Rabbi Naftali in his book Zera Kodesh, and it says, Al Yedei Achila Be'erev Kippur, Mevi Beracha Lesoba La'olam. Unbelievable. It says, in the merit of the Seudot that we do today in Erev Kippur, the abundance of food of today brings blessing of abundance for the entire world. It's unbelievable. We are eating in Miami, and we are determined the famine and starvation in other parts of the world. The opposite. Unbelievable. Now, it says also, Ateret Yeshua. It says that this is also brings refuah shelema. And it brings a fascinating hidush. The pasuk says, Uberach et lahmecha be'et memecha. I will bless you, listen to the words, your bread and your water. What's the bread? Hamosi. What's the water? Not only the water of drinking, the netilah. Asiroti mahala mikirbecha. I will remove the illnesses from within you. It says the great rabbi, Mikirbecha Gematria Yom Kippur, that in the zechut of today, eating bread and making a mosi, one meal at least, it brings refuah shelema lechole Israel. Not only to the person that eats it, to the entire Jewish world. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Concerning the question of the mikveh that I mentioned before, when a person goes to the mikveh today, what should be the kavanot? So the Ben Ish Chai makes it very easy for us. Number one, it says you dip 5 times. Kavanah number one, to achieve purity in our life. Clear? Wonderful. Number two, to repair the sin of anger. Number three, to sweeten judgment and reinforce compassion. Number four, to remove the aura of the weekday. And number five, to welcome the godliness that comes to our life in honor of the day of Yom Kippur. And obviously, may all the berachot that come. Now, what happens if someone doesn't remember what I just said? The other day, what I did was, I took a picture of the 5 kavanot, and I looked at it before I went to the mikveh. But let's say that there is no picture, so it says, I'm going to the mikveh 5 times in honor of Kippur. I will do 7 because it's Shabbat also, so I throw in an extra 2 Lichvot Shabbat Kodesh, like I always do, Baruch Hashem. And it says, I'm going to go to the mikveh and have all the Kabbalistic kavanot. That's like a generic statement, and that takes care of it. And it says as follows, the Mate Ephraim and others, and it's also brought down in many places, concerning blessing our children. It says, obviously you bless them with all blessings, but especially blessings of spiritual growth and development, the love to Hashem, love to the Torah, good midot, Beracha of Parnasah, but it says there is a key requirement before we bless children. And the first one is to bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So you can say, Yehishem Hashem Meborach Me'ata Be'ad Olam. That simple pasuk, the one that we say every day of our life, that is one. Others say, Itbarach Shemo Shel Melech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. May the name of the Holy One be blessed. Both pesukim, they actually mean the same idea of first, I'm blessing Hashem, the source of all blessing. And then I go to the rest of the berachot. We know the 5 prohibitions of Kippur: eating, drinking, bathing, anointing, and eating and drinking is one, anointing, bathing, wearing leather shoes, and intimacy. And these 5 prohibitions, fascinating, have a 2-tier tikkun. Number one, 5 prohibitions for the 5 books of the Torah. In the event that we transgress any commandment in any of the 5 books of the Torah, we are remedying these by the 5 abstentions of the holiday, but also there are 4 plus 1, 5 types of executions. Sekila, Serefa, Ereg, Henek, Karet. Sekila, Serefa, Ereg, Behenek. These are the 4 capital punishments of the Bedin. The stoning, the choking, the hanging, the burning, all these 4. And then we have the 5th one. It's called Karet. Karet, God forbid, means early departure from the world, meaning to say the life of the person, God forbid, becomes shortened. And it says 5 punishments can be mitigated by the 5 restrictions of Kippur. 5 for 5. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, yo. Somebody asked, why do we say Sheheyanu tonight in the prayers? I have the Mahzor next to me. Kal Nidre. Right? What a day, what a beautiful day Kippur is. Nice. One second, please. I'm in the class. Give me a moment. Kaparot, the office website, Hazako Baruch. You can do it, or I will do it afterwards. Collective for everybody who deliver the forms in person or online. Yeah, I know. We still have a chance. After the class, you do it. Don't do it now. I'm recording. I can't pay attention to you. No, I forgive you, but do it after, more official, because now I'm not listening. So it says here very clearly, at the end of the Kal Nidre, we say Kal Nidre Besare. At the end we say Sheheyanu. Now, why do we say Sheheyanu in the night of Kal Nidre? I'm not making Kiddush, which, by the way, you are making Kiddush in the night of Kippur through the prayer. The prayer of Kippur contains Kiddush, which is hidden in the Amidah. But we say Sheheyanu to give gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for giving us the gift of Yom Kippur that it brings forgiveness to the life of the person. Now, Zohar HaKadosh, it brings, one second, the Zohar HaKadosh writes the importance of Kal Nidre. Now, one of the benefits of the Kal Nidre, I mentioned before what Rabbeinu Ari writes about atoning for the sin that affects the man, Zera Levatala, lack of personal holiness, Tum'at Keri, but also the Zohar HaKadosh writes that the power of Kal Nidre is so great that even if in Shamayim, God forbid, there was a decree against a person of termination from the world, the Zechut of Kal Nidre breaks that decree. Unbelievable. אפילו, הבידיו דלשון, משנגזר עליו גזר דין בגדר ובשבועה בנדר שלא ישתנה חס ושלום. Even if Shamayim did how do you call this? Somebody pointing a laser beam on me? I feel like I'm a target. True. Did you see it? It was my imagination. He was pointing at me, at my heart. For the Torah audience, there was no attempt on the rabbi's life. Apparently, there was a pen next to the book, and the pen fell on top of the, you see? It fell on the switch and was up. I felt it. I said, what's going on here? Chas v'shalom. So let's say exactly what I'm saying now. In Shamayim it says, there was a decree in Shamayim. Shamayim made a shebuah. This person will go through this. With the Kal Nidre, matir et הנדר ואת השבועה שלמעלה, ובזה נתבטל את גזר דין שנגזר עליו. It says, even if Shamayim, thank you, pre-approve a negative decree against the person, the power of Kal Nidre is so great that it breaks that heavenly adverse decree against the person. Unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. Wow. That's why it says, hold and kiss the Sefer Kal Nidre. That brings a lot of tikkunim to the mouth, especially if the person may have made promises or vows that were not kept, or the person was sinning by tumat keri. I said before that the impurity that affects men, or arayot, etc. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. No, say it, but kiss the Sefer Torah if possible. And if you're able to buy the zechut of carrying Kal Nidre, that's an unbelievable zechut as well. Now, Yom Kippur, okay. Let me just see if there is anything else. There is a lot of things, but let me read something about the topic of Ne'ilah. It says the tradition is all over the world to do the Petihat Ne'ilah and to keep the Sefer, to keep the Echal open, thank you so much, because all of the tefillot, they go through the channel of the Ne'ilah. That's the reason why in the Ne'ilah we say, Bahatom lehayim tovim. During the prayers we say, Uchtov, write. In Ne'ilah we say, Bahatom, stamp, seal the prayers. And it says that if a person can cry, interesting, during the prayer of Ne'ilah, is a big zechut to the person. Now, how easy is for some people to cry? It's all depend on the person. It depends on the kavanah, depends on the sensitivity, depends on the emotions. But one thing that I would like to say is that if you feel that you're becoming emotional, especially in the prayer of Ne'ilah, be happy. Because it says as follows, that through the tears of Ne'ilah, any negative decree can be reversed for good. The way the Pasuk writes in the Zohar HaKadosh, quoting the Pasuk about Moshe Rabbeinu, Behine na'ar boche, there was a child crying. But tahmol alav, and compassion was aroused. From here for the Zohar HaKadosh writes, and it says that pray properly, clear your mind of the tears, and if the tears are flowing, let them flow. Don't be shy, don't be embarrassed, the opposite. One more thing, it says, Rabbi Chaim Falaji writes, and it says that Motza'e Kippur, it says, he says the following, if it's up to me, that's what he writes, I will extend Kippur a few more hours. But obviously, we're not going to do such a thing because there is weakness in the world. There are people who are looking at the clock when 7:38 will be tomorrow night to break the fast. But Rohi, remember, it's Shabbat. You have to do Havdalah. You have to do before Havdalah, we have to do Arvit. Before Arvit, we got to do Shofar. After Havdalah, we got to do Birkat HaLevanah. So there is a lot of action tomorrow night, okay? But it says that the power of Berachot, of Motza'e Kippur, will bring to the person, has the power of bringing Mashiach on that moment. Like we discussed in the Kolel the other day, as soon as Ne'ilah is finished, how does the Arvit of Motza'e Kippur starts? והוא רחום יכפר עוון. May the compassionate one forgive our sins. I just finished being forgiven for 25 hours. I didn't have a time to do avon. I was in shul all day. When do I have time to do averot? It says one of the first averot is that we're looking for a fast hazan to do the arvit of Motza'e Kippur. It says here. I read you quickly. נכון או לא? Make sense? Give me somebody fast. Give somebody fast. So it says, שאין לרדוף אחר שליח ציבור שממהר. It says במועד כל חי, don't look for a hazan that in 6 minutes arvit will be done. I understand, Kahal Kadosh, that there is a concept of tirha de sibura. You shouldn't impose extra burden on the kahal, etc. But I think what Rabbi Chaim Falaji is saying is, Kippur just finished. Yani, at least for the first prayer, that's why, after Kippur, we should do it properly. I saw many years back that the morning after of Kippur, the next day of Kippur, in other words, Kippur is Shabbat, Sunday morning, and I'm saying this in advance, every man should make the effort of praying with the minyan Sunday morning. Even though some have the minhag that Sunday don't pray with the minyan, and they only pray Monday to Friday. I don't know where they got such a minhag from. I never saw such a minhag. But let's give the people the benefit of the doubt, being Erev Kippur. It says this Sunday morning, make sure to go to the synagogue to pray on a timely manner. Why? Because the Yetzer Hara is waiting to see. You see, this guy, he only came and sang and bought a few aliyot because it's Kippur. But where is he Sunday morning? Sleeping. Let me file a formal complaint. That's what it says. It says the day of Motzai Kippur, it's called the day of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we show God the true colors. Who is with him or who is only with him Rosh Hashanah and Kippur? There is a lot of more things that to say, and I did not open up barely any books today. I just read from some of the couple of notes and beautiful insights on Kippur. Gemar Hatima Tova. תזכו לשנים רבות, בשורות טובות for all of עם ישראל, מהקדוש ברוך הוא. Welcome our tefillot, באהבה וברצון, the way the pasuk says, we should have בשורות טובות from Eretz Israel, for the hostages, for the soldiers. Thank you for the sponsors, and again, mechila, if I may have said something during the class, sometimes telling stories or telling jokes or telling comments or selling stuff, inadvertently, the way I say it, unintentionally, it may sound a way that some may not be too happy about it, but at the end of the day, I'm a human, and I need to recognize also when changes are necessary. Again, תזכו לשנים רבות, גמר חתימה טובה, אבל כלסנה, to the Ashkenazic audience, a good gewend shiur, that's what they say, גמר חסימת טויבה, right, that's what they say, and Be'ezat Hashem will resume, God willing, Sunday morning, מוצאי כיפור הבא עלינו לטובה. ברוך אדוני לעולם, אמן ואמן. רבי חנניה בן הקשיא אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל.